Clark's going to tell us about his career as a derby driver.
Don't hurt me.
It's cute. I like your hair, it's pretty.
Gosh, you're getting picked on already.
I don't think I've ever seen you drive before.
I don't.
How long did you drive?
I don't drive.
You don't drive at all?
No more.
When did you drive?
The last time I think you probably would have saw me would have been Velzke. 2006 was the last time I drove full size, and I won that one. I guess I drove a ton of that year also. Ended up where all the Gormans and everybody came down, and I had the only other fresh car there. Needless to say what happened to it.
So you haven't driven in a derby in 5 years then?
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I hurt my back, so it hurts just to build them, you know. Worth it. It's more fun to see the kids drive and Patty drive and Natalie, and you know that they make the money. I don't. So.
When did you start driving?
Well, I drove in 11th grade was the first time I drove, which would have been '81. And I've driven pretty much all the time, except for I got hurt a couple times. Diving accident one time. I sat out for that, but I think I drove 5 times before I won one. But it was the first year. The first time I drove, I got second place, and that was again in Velzke. The first one I won was in Faribault. That was kind of my hometown derby for quite a few years. And I think I've won Faribault quite a few times, like 12 times, 13 times. So they got where they didn't like me. Everybody wants me to drive in the trucks. To me, that's a different style of driving. The back and forth stuff is kind of like the Chevy wagons and the Imperial boxcar Imperials. To me, the pace of the derby is too fast now for that kind of driving. Drive forward, hit forward, and you know, get out of there. You know, don't sit there.
What characteristics attract you to drive at one venue versus another?
I guess the friendship thing was the biggest thing for a while, and then after a little while I didn't like being with all my friends, and I started wandering off, and then I went to Rochester, and I really enjoyed the style of driving on the big track and the fast pace, and I didn't have all my buddies there to get in my way, and I could hit anybody, you know, so you go and have fun and make your name.
What's your favorite class to drive in?
The pro class, the old style. Imperials and New Yorkers and probably Impalas.
Do you prefer stock or modified?
I would prefer the pro class.
Why is that?
Mods. It's too hard to build and not do that kind of stuff. After you drive so long, you know how stuff bends and you know how to fix it so it'll never bend again. It's hard not to because you don't want to waste your car.
What steps do you take to keep yourself safe in your car?
Window netting for safety for bumpers and stuff. When people drive by your driver's door, they might have a bumper sticking out and they could wing you right in that nose, or you know, it's pretty easy to not be paying attention to your driver's side when you're looking this way. Someone could be coming at you and you don't even know it. We all pretty much wear full clothes, gloves. If you have a fire, you can at least squish it out with your hands, or if you have to grab something that might be hot.
What's the biggest injury you've got?
I've been knocked cold, I guess, out there. I got hit in the driver's door one time. A couple years ago, I hit head to head with somebody so hard that it whiplashed me forward, actually. My helmet got stuck underneath the steering wheel, and I hurt my neck doing that, but otherwise, just little stuff like that.
What's the worst you've seen someone else injured?
Several times at Farmington, seat belts would choke them off really bad. Fly darn near out the window and pinch you, they couldn't breathe. Officiating, I've seen that several times too, where they drive up to you and tell you to stop, you know, and you think, well, what's going on? Well, you figure it out because it's happened to you. The seat belt keeps tightening up, and pretty soon you can't breathe.
What safety gear do you think is the most important?
Well, eye protection and helmet, I guess, is number one, and then long sleeves. I see people driving in their muscle shirts and shorts and stuff, and even a guy that drives barefoot. That's a no-no.
You do anything to prepare mentally before the event?
Oh yeah. You know, it's really funny that I do have to say that the day you get out of bed, you know if you're going to win that derby. You got that feeling. You know, you walk out and look at your car and you can sense it.
You think being mentally prepared is more important than having a good car?
Yes. If you're tired and cranky and you don't give a crap about things, you're going to drive that way. If you have the confidence that morning when you wake up, if you want to win, you got to think about it.
What's the most critical step that you take in preparing your car?
Motor and transmission and drivetrain, I guess, is probably the key.
How long does it take you to build a car?
With the kids helping, and we can build one pretty fast now with everything setting. The best thing that we do is take a car that's the similar car, put everything from that car to this car. Same bolt, same everything. It goes right back in the same position. And we can do that in a weekend if we have to. But in general, I would say 2 to 3 weeks.
You keep any tools in your driver's quarters?
Yes, I always have a vice grip, and I've had to use it before. The battery shorted out or something, you had to spin the post off real quick on the, so it don't blow your battery up. Natalie has had experiences where her throttle cable is broke and her steering wheel, vice grip wouldn't help you there.
What color scheme do you use to paint your car?
It was black mostly all the time until recent. Different colors is more fun, you know, the Gorman colors, the greens and the blues, and the black tended to be the thing for quite a few years. That primer red was, I probably drove 5 or 6 years that way. That little picture on that big picture is Natalie when she's probably about 6 years old, playing around.
What's your favorite model of car to drive?
Just sedans in general. I guess it's Chrysler or Chevy. Imperials are by far the most fun to drive, you know.
What's your favorite engine to use?
350 Chev, and then for Chrysler I'll go with 318s.
What's the most derbies you've driven on a single car?
18.
Do your driving tactics change more based on competition of the drivers or of the track conditions?
That's a very good question. The driving style all depends on the size of the track, for number one. If you have a big track, you're going to drive a different style than a little track. A little track, it's a lot harder to win on, I think. A big track is way faster pace. Sometimes that getting through that first 15 minutes, that's a big thing, you know.
Out of all the ways that your competition might cheat, what bothers you the most?
Well, I don't like to get beat by a cheater, I guess. IMP went to the different rules this year about plating. If you plate, you're going to the pro class. That's going to even out the playing field quite a bit more. There's no plating whatsoever. There's no welding. Some of the officials that I know, they're very strict about that. And it's fun to compete in them situations.
How do you feel about team driving?
The team driving is it's just part of the sport. If you don't have a buddy, don't come. You know, that's basically how I look at it. You'll probably do better by yourself anyways, where you don't know anybody, because it's more fun that way.
Have you ever been disqualified?
No, I haven't. Not that I know of.
How many wins do you have?
Top 3 to top 4 places, I'd say 40 to 50 wins.
What would you say is the biggest key to success as a driver?
Well, patience, and drive and be confident and be patient, because other people are going to have the same dumb luck that you have. There's other people out there doing them cheap shots. You don't have to do all the work.
Up next, we'll hear from the rest of the family.